Now, ladies and gentlemen, well, to be fair, only gentlemen, because we're talking about FlightSim Expo 2025, which is starting tomorrow on Saturday. And you know FlightSim Expo by now. It is where all the crazy hardware and software products are being announced and demoed for the first time. You know, last year we went to FlightSim Expo to Las Vegas land. You know, I gambled all my money way back then and my hair. But the FlightSim community gained Winwing as a supplier. You know, Winwing, who had only made military products before for the first time, went into civil aviation, making Airbus and Boeing autopilot panels for a price that is significantly lower than what we could buy before. Actually, kind of 1/5 of the price. Now that was a year ago, and ever since they've come up with an MCDU or FMC, you know, these flight computers for $140. Can you imagine that? You know, they have more and more products that they're announcing and coming up with and actually selling, and it's getting more crazy. And I'm seeing a vision. Let's take a look. You know, Winwing over this 1 year has been like walking a progress of more and more and more cockpit stuff. For example, in Lelystad at the FS weekend, they showed an Airbus Throttle Quadrant, which looked really nice. So like step by step MCDU, they're moving that. They also have this joystick, the Ursa Minor, which I like quite a lot. I mean, it's like, what, $70 or something like that? And it has a vibrating feature. Your girlfriend will love that. So the room was electric today when the presentations were done by all the companies. And especially Winwing joined the stage.
Now we have the new panels over here.
People were screaming. Because Winwing would announce yet another range of product, which were quite interesting. Look at this, everybody. Our cockpit is getting more and more full. So let's talk about the announcements indeed. This right here is an radio panel, which is super important. See, I have one big issue with flying in my flight simulator. I don't have a radio panel, and there really is only one good option. It's that SayTech radio panel, which works great, but it's not sexy. This one, on the other hand, is original. It's like a real A320, and you can see that it doesn't work right now because it's a prototype just yet. It's just been announced, but guess how much this will cost? I don't remember. I think $130. This one is $130, right? The radio?
77 or so.
What?
77.50. 77.50, that's the...
So $77 for this product. Let's have a close look at it. I mean, yeah, this is just a demo unit that doesn't have a screen, but you know, you have the details that I like to see. For example, this on-off switch doesn't just switch. You go, after all, you could turn off the whole module by accidentally switching it off when it's on. No, you have this release thing. You have to like pull it to release it. For example, here also to change the nav frequency, for some reason, there's this confirmation lever, right? So like lots and lots of detail in a product that is the same size as the original one. Furthermore, talking about radio panel, this is a separate one. This is the VHF frequency selector, which I think is really cool too. And you know, the thing is, like with all these radio stuff, I hate using them with my mouse because they take forever to actually select properly and, you know, changing the volume and stuff. And you can do that very quickly. So you can use VHF 1, listen to one frequency, then VHF 2. That's very nice. And here are all the switches, and I like to see that. And I'm pretty sure they will light up. This is also $77. Insane. So that is new, but talking about transponder radio, similar stuff, this is a transponder. And it costs, I think, also $77 or something like that. And this one is really cool as well. Obviously same size, and it's the same like quality. Obviously, this will not feel like a real A320. It's obviously made out of metal and will last forever, the A320 bit. But that one also isn't $77, but $77,000. I like how this video feels sponsored, it isn't. Yeah, anyway, I like how Winwing always gets a perfect mix between things being a good enough quality to be good, but not too crazy for it to be expensive. You know what I mean? I'm yapping way too much. But look at this thing. Here, me press those switches. Now, once again, this is a demo unit. It doesn't quite work yet, but A320 transponder. Very nice. Now look at this, everybody. M landing gear lever, and it is metal. And it doesn't just go up. No, you have to pull and then push it up. In fact, you almost be like, it's rough with it, which is realistic in airplanes. And look at this, everybody. A clock, which is obviously synced to this A320 here from Phoenix, and it works. I mean, this is a working product, finally. So right now, it is 1 a.m. back home, and I can tell that. I don't need to watch my watch. That's kind of cool. Now, I don't even know how oh yeah, look, we can start like a timer here. So if you put a pizza in the oven, you don't need to start a timer on your phone. You can just use a WinWing product. Yeah, there we go, look at this. Haha. Yes, everybody, look at it being synced. Now, obviously, we've got auto brake buttons. Look at the blue light working. And this is the anti-skid switch, very, very large one, as you can see also in the flight simulator. And obviously, that can't be pushed down unless you pull on it and release it. And that's why just now the light got out, because I deactivated the system. So this is really cool. Furthermore, we have this right here, and brake fan, which we can turn on. Now, this is a little funny. The switch right here is attached the opposite way. I mean, you know, WinWing's also human, but I thought it was funny. So instead of on, it says like what's supposed to be hot. But you know, that can happen on a prototype. It's funny, but look, I mean, the light works for sure. It's just the switch is the wrong way inserted. Now, I haven't even been able to finish. There's so much more. Turn on terrain on radar. You can see the beautiful green light and the terrain pop off. Furthermore, there's also ECAM buttons. Look at this. This is also $77, I think. Like different pages. For example, I want to see the engine page. Look at it. When I turn on the airplane, I want to see the APU page. And this is actually really helpful because it can quickly switch information off your airplane. And you can also emergency cancel it. It has this nice little two-way confirmation switch here with the emergency cancel. Don't even know what that does. I think it canceled out the alerts here. Interesting. So this is the new products that are announced. But we're also getting closer to seeing this released, the A320 Throttle. We talked about that 3 months ago already, but now it is a finally fully working model indeed, and it is amazing. For example, what works is the rudder trim. We can see, for example, I want to have it tuned a little bit to the right. Maybe we have an engine failure at some point, so I hold it, and as you can see, it increases in right value. As you can see in the flight sim, it's all synced up. And it's funny because like 3 months ago, this wasn't even working as a prototype. Now we set it all the way to like 6 million. Plane's gonna probably crash once they take off like that. So, magic trick, we can press the reset button. Let's see if it works. I don't even know if it works. Yes, look at that. It slowly gets down to 0 again. That's incredible. Now, of course, park brake doesn't just go. It's solid unless you pull. Boom, pull hard on it and comes down. Perfect. Same thing with the flaps. Now my friends of flying the 787, flaps are very important for taking off, and I want to change them. Doesn't work. What, you know, I mean, this is how the real cockpit works. You can't just pull it. Like what if you accidentally change the flaps configuration? In order to actually pull it, you have to pull on this thing and then put it down. You can see it's obviously synced here. So now it's 1, you know, and then we have, oh, come on, 2. So this is like the solidity that I want out of it. So let's set it to 1 right now. Very nice. And, you know, the spoilers work the same way. It's not like you just pull on it and they come out. It would be unsafe for real life flying. In order to actually use them, you have to push it down and then put it down. You can see it's obviously synced up. Same thing with arming it. Looks armed, and it works, of course, here. So nice. Same thing, obviously, also with the engine turn off, turn on switches. You have to pull on them to turn. Oh, I just turned the engine. That's not wise. This is high quality of a module, and like it beats, especially the scaling of, for example, the Thrustmaster throttle quadrant out of the water. I mean, just here. The solidity of all these throttle detents, how it feels to move the reversers. This is definitely the Airbus throttle. And I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface of all this. Of course, we got this here. We've got the MCDU panel. Oh God, we're taking off. Oh no, oh no. Now, the interesting part, of course, about this is the pricing. The throttle is $128, and the rest of it is $108. Not Mexican pesos, but dollars. Let's go take off. and we can hear the takeoff. Now let's see how the performance is. We just had a collision. Sorry. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, full power. Now we're not using the Airbus rudder pedals. Step by step, we're building the Airbus cockpit. And something that's very important as well is the feet. I like feet. You know, one big objective in building a realistic simulator is the rudder pedals, because you use them all the time, but they're kind of underrated. The problem is there is not really rudder pedals that simulate how real airline rudder pedals work. I mean, at home I use like an old Thrustmaster one. That's not at all what an A320 feels like. At home I also have been using this Orion rudder, which is really great, but it's military. It doesn't fly at all like airliners do. And that's something that Winwing also announced to change. Look at this. This is the new Orion metal rudder pedals, A320 style, and so it looks blue, and it has these footrests here that look very A320 indeed. Now, these have a different feel to them as well. The toe, the mechanism, I don't know what I also like is the pricing. This thing costs $300. I think 300. It was like a weird price. I don't know why they came up with that. Anyway, very, very affordable for what it is. It is metal. It is blue. It's like Airbus. Woohoo! But there's more coming up. They're working on putting a motor in this. Yes, force feedback in a rudder pedal. That's something we haven't really seen a lot before, and especially not for $499. That's crazy. They have a stronger one that is like $800 to $700. I don't even remember. They have like a weird cryptic pricing model all the time. But force feedback rudder pedals make a lot of difference. You know, when you brake, when you fight with crosswinds, it's very different of a feel. So I'm very interested in how that turns out. But we're using the rudder pedals here, the Orion, which are more military themed. And look at this. We are taking off. It's time now. Put that landing gear up. Let's do it. Obviously, you have to confirm to do it. So like that, pull it, boom. And we can see the landing gear unlock light turn on. Yes, and now the landing gear is officially not down. And I want to see the unlock light turn off. Beautiful, landing gear is up officially. And that's really, really nice. Now we are going full power and doing the worst flighting in the world, but we can put the flaps up. And this is nice because this is like full scale. I mean, I've been in a real A320 cockpit. All right, let's go ahead and, there's an airport there. We might be able to land down there. So let's put the landing gear back down, boom, like that. And I now want the flaps fully down. Plane's probably gonna complain because we're quite fast. Now, what is very important for our stopping is auto brake max.
Okay, thank you.
Auto brake.
Appreciate it. Max
Oh, max doesn't work? Oh. That's on. So yeah, that is what we can tell of Winwing in their A320 release. I can't wait for them to work further on maybe 737 stuff. You know, over the next few years, we're gonna see affordable full cockpits. That is, I think, my vision for Winwing. So they'll do maybe what belongs here, and maybe at some point we might have to reach up here. God only knows. Let's go ahead and land very badly. Now that you know, the good landing is when the hand is not down here, but like here to like hold on for dear life. Okay, boom, let's put her down. Oh, that was really bad, but something I wanted to do was land really bad so I could like feel the vibration of the vibrating joystick. What do you guys think? Will you guys get this for your Airbus setup? After all, the A320 is the most popular flight simulator airplane out there. But what I'll do now on this screen is calculate all the prices together. What would this cost? I'm thinking like maybe it's definitely not 1,000. So ladies and gentlemen, a sneak peek into my first day of FS Expo. It is the first hardware that was announced and actually being shown here. But we're gonna check out a lot more. New software, test flying planes that you've not seen before. Also, big thanks to my friend Aviation Lads. He's like doing all those crazy trailers. You take a look at him. He's got a great YouTube channel. That's all gonna come tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, this video is not sponsored by, I wish they gave me money. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, good night.
And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters, Guns Killer, R27, James Duram, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijitsu Fanner, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.